Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S4 4037 Abigail Takes the Wheel. Story by Abby. Pictures by Don Bolognese. Staten Island. Chapter 1 Contents. Chapter 1 The Neptune. Abigail and her brother Tom watched as farmers loaded vegetables onto the freight boat Neptune. The Neptune was their home, and their father, Captain Bates, was the boat's captain. Every morning, the boat took vegetable from Old Port, New Jersey, to New York City, 20 miles away. The Neptune took Abigail and Tom to school in New York City too. That morning, the first mate, Mr. Oliver, did not look very well. Are you all right, Mr. Oliver? Abigail shouted down. My stomach is a bit upset, he called back. I'll get over it. Morning, morning, Abigail and Tom. Captain Bates said, ready for school? I have a test today. Abigail said, where's Ma? Tom asked. She's going to stay in Orport to visit Aunt Sally. She'll be waiting when we get back. Now, Abigail, don't fret. Captain Bates said, we'll push up soon. And oops. Oh, wait a minute. Don't fret. Captain Bates said we'll push up soon and be in the city by 8. Tom, get ready. Tom climbed onto the front window ledge. From there, he could pull the ship's whistle cord. His father let him pull it when they sailed. Abigail often got to steer the boat, while her father stood nearby. They called her first mate Abigail, and everybody said she was a good sailor. Mr. Oliver came to the pilot house. Everything is loaded, Captain, he said. How are you feeling? Captain Bates asked him. Not great, the first mate said. But I can manage. Time to go, Tom. Captain Bates called. Pull the whistle cord. A long blast sounded. Start the engine, Captain Bates shouted into the speaking tube. The tube ran down below to the engine room, where the engineer worked. Set the wheels turning all 4 strokes per minute. We need to get these keys to school. Mr. Oliver cast off the robe. Smoke poured from the stack. The side pedals began to churn. The Neptune eased from the dock. Abigail and Tom were going to school. Chapter 2 In the Narrows. As the Neptune entered the Narrows, choppy waves made the boat rock. The main channel is crowded this morning, the captain said. With the breeze coming down, it might be a bit rough. Tom, be ready with the whistle. There were ships everywhere. Some were going toward New York City, just as many were leaving. Suddenly, Captain Bates called, look there, doesn't that ship know how the harbor rules? This isn't Saturday, Sunday sailing, look out. Those ships are going to crash. A large sailing ship, the Bonnie Brea, had been entering the harbor. Right in front of her was the Pelham. Each one tried to turn away, but the wind and tide were too strong. With a crash, the 2 ships struck. The Pelham lost his topsail, but was able to sail on. The Barney Brea lost his forward sails and could not sail. She began to drift. I think we better offer to help, the captain said. He guided the Neptune toward the drifting ship. Do you need a hand? He called to the man on the Barney Brea. Can you tow us to the city? They called. We'll pay you well. Be glad to. He turned toward the speaking tube. The Barney Brea needs a tow. Harbor laws say if we tow her, I have to handle her wheel. As soon as Mr. Oliver helps tie up the tow rope, he'll pilot us to the city. Yes, sir, replied the engineer. Abigail, can you steer us alongside that ship? The captain asked. I think so, Abigail said. Tom, help Abigail until Mr. Oliver gets here. The captain left the pilot house. Abigail called into the speaking tube. 3 strokes, then a stop. The engineer's voice said, all right, first mate Abigail. Chapter 3, Abigail at the wheel. Abigail guided the Neptune alongside the Barney Brea. Captain Bates climbed aboard. Long, heavy rope was dropped from the sailing ship's bow. Miss Oliver tied it fast to the Neptune's stern. They are ready, Tom told his sister. We need to go slow and steady, said Abigail. She pulled the speaking tube toward her. Forward 2 strokes, she said. The Neptune's side wheels turned. She began to go upstream. Give 1 pull to the whistle cord. Abigail said, that'll tell everybody we're going straight on. Tom pulled the cord. The Neptune moved forward. The tow rope stretched tight. The Barney Brea was pulled along. The strain of the towing and the choppy water made the freight boat rock from side to side. Abigail held the large wheel with both hands. It's awfully rough, she said. I hope I'm strong enough to handle this. Don't worry, Tom said. You won't have to do it for long. Mr. Oliver came in. He looked sick. What's the matter? Tom asked. I feel worried, Miss Oliver said as he took the wheel. Do you want help? Abigail asked. I think I'm okay. He sounded unsure. Are we going to be late for school? Tom asked. A little maybe, Miss Oliver said. But a towing job brings a lot of money. Besides, they want to go to Pier 42. Yeah, that's close to our school, Abigail said. We'll get there. Miss Oliver said he was looking worse and worse. Suddenly he said, Abigail, you better take over. I'm really sick. With a groan, he staggered out of the pilot house. Abigail grabbed the wheel again. What do we now? Tom asked. How many times have you gone to New York? Abigail asked. 1,000,000, maybe, Tom said. Then we must know the way. Abigail said. She gripped the wheel tightly. I need to keep both hands on the wheel. Swing the speaking tube toward you, Tom. Tell the engineer we need more power. 3 strokes forward, Tom shouted. Is that you, Tom? The engineer asked. Where's Mr. Oliver? He got sick. Abigail is at the wheel again. Abigail, can you handle it? Abigail called back. I think so. Chapter 4, Up the Hudson River. Abigail steered the Neptune to the killer Van Cole Channel, then turned the boat. Now they were heading right for New York City. How is the Barney Brea doing? Abigail asked. Pretty good, Tom said. A Staten Island ferry came toward the Neptune. It blew 2 blasts of its whistle. That meant it wished to pass on the right. Tom, tell the ferry we understand, Abigail said. Tom pulled the whistle cord twice. Abigail steered the Neptune to the left. The ferry passed to the right. The Neptune swept by Battery Park and up the Hudson River. Suddenly a huge ship, the Bristol, appeared. She was moving right across the Neptune's bow. That ship shouldn't be there, Tom said. I know. Pull the whistle cord once. We need to pass her. the Neptune's whistle sounded. Bristol returned two angry blasts. She won't let you go by, Tom shouted. Doesn't she know the harbor rules? Abigail looked forward and back. There was not enough room for her and the Barney Bria to pass. If she did not stop, the Neptune would be struck by the Bristol. Pull the cord 4 times, she cried. We must stop. Tom made the whistle shriek and shouted into the tube. The paddle wheels stopped, but it started to stop a boat when it's moving in water. The Neptune continued to go forward. Abigail cried, "Reverse engine!" The paddles churned backwards. First, the Neptune stopped its forward motion. Then it began to move backward. The pistol swept past the Neptune. Abigail looked behind the Barney Bria. Barney Bria had not stopped. It was drawing close, much too close. She's going to hit us, Tom said. Stop engines, Abigail cried. Paddle wheels stopped turning. Forward engine, Abigail now cried. Fast, 4-stroke forward, Tom called. The Neptune lurched forward. Abigail struggled to turn the wheel. Neptune swung about, away from the Barney Bria. The tow rope pulled tight. Hooray, Tom shouted. The Barney Bria is right again. Abigail sighed with relief. They continued up the river. I see Pier 42, Tom said. Pier 42 was shaped like a gigantic letter U. It looked easy to get into. Then Abigail's heart jumped. Large holiday boat, the Peekskill, was pulling out of Pier 42, was coming right at them. Chapter 5, Pier 42. Look out, Tom called. He pulled the whistle cord. A warning blast sounded. Abigail knew the whistle was not enough unless she turned the Neptune away from the pier and into the middle of the river. The Peekskill and the Neptune would collide. She pulled the wheel so hard her feet lifted off the deck. The Peekskill heard and saw the Neptune. Its wheels turned faster and faster, moved away from the Neptune. The pier is empty, Tom hollered. But now we're going away from Pier 42. Abigail cried, we'll have to make almost a complete circle to get back. Keep watching. I have to make sure the Barney Bria doesn't run into us. Abigail, swung the wheel around. The Neptune began to circle back to the pier. Tom, Abigail warned, if I stop, the Barney Bria will hit us. Keep that whistle blowing. Make sure every ship knows what we're doing. The whistle shrieked and shrieked. The men on the pier saw the Neptune approach with the sailing ship in tow. Frantically, they worked to fight rope bumpers over the wooden pier pile to keep the sailing ship from smashing into the pier. Now, both boats, Neptune first and Barney Bria behind, were between the arms of the pier. We are almost there, Tom cried. Abigail gripped the wheel tightly and aimed the Neptune right for the head of the pier. Closer and closer they came. Just when it looked as if the Neptune was going to crash, Abigail hauled the wheel down and around. The Neptune made a tight turn inside the pier jams and began to head out toward the river. The Barney Bria kept coming in. The Neptune passed her with just a few feet to spare. The sailing ship nosed into the top of the pier. When she hit the bumpers, she stopped. Stop engines, Abigail cried. Neptune's engine stopped. Freight boat nestled against the pier. Abigail leaned against the wheel. She had never been so tired in her life. Tom hugged her. You did it. Abigail, said another voice. It was her father. He had hurried onto the Neptune. Where's Mr. Oliver? He asked. He got sick and went below, Tom said. Captain Bates was astonished. But Abigail, was that you at the wheel? She nodded. Abigail, you're amazing. What time is it? She asked. Captain Bates checked his pocket watch. Almost a school, Abigail cried. My test, hurry! Tom shouted. The two children ran off the ship and into the busy New York City streets. Chapter 6, Captain Abigail. 3. At 3:30, Abigail and Tom finished the school and started back to the Neptune. As soon as they saw the Neptune, its whistle gave a long shriek. I guess Dad wants us to hurry, Abigail said. Two children ran to the gangplank where their father was waiting. Next to him was Mr. Oliver, looking much better. The Neptune's engineer was also there. So too was the crew from the Bonnie Brer. Attention, Captain Bates cried. All the men stood stiffly. Welcome aboard, Captain Bates called to his children. The crews of the Neptune and the Bonnie Brer await you. As Abigail and Tom walked up the gangplank, all the men saluted. Tom, you are hereby appointed first mate. He turned to his daughter and shook her hand. Abigail, from this day forward, you also have a new rank, Captain Abigail. Hooray for first mate Tom, the man shouted. Then even louder they cried, hooray for Captain Abigail. The voyage of the Neptune. Wow. Pier 42. Old Port, Staten Island. See?